Hello, my name is Jaime. I'm an American patriot living in Medellin, Colombia since 2009. I am getting ready to return to the US, hopefully within the next 30 to 60 days at the most. But at the same time, it could be next week. I'm waiting for some financial news in order to make it go. Anyway, I don't usually do and have never really done a political video overall, a podcast or anything like that. Not really interested, so to speak. But when the news coming out here in the last 48 hours in relation to that Nikki Haley has been put on the short list by Trump in relation to becoming his vice president, I just couldn't sit back and say nothing. Just can't. So, Mr. President, I love you guys. Let me tell you something. You gave me a light and to the possibility that the republic will be revived in its splendor, and the sons of bitches, Marxist, communist, leftists will be destroyed and removed into the, what do they call it, the dung of hell forevermore. Okay. A little bit about me more than that is that I personally in politics have watched from the offset. I became involved when I got red pilled, as it's called in the game, back in 1989, listening to some of the broadcast people on AM radio, FM radio, like Rush Limbaugh, Beck, uh, Alex Jones, and was starting to wake up to the problems of this country. But I still did not vote because as I started to look and pay a little bit closer attention to the political scenario of the Republicans and the Senate and the Democrats, I saw that there was no difference between the two when it really came down to it. If you study what they say, they're different. They're different. But if you study what they do when they get into power, in other words, the policy, the laws, regulations, statutes, whatever you want to call them, that were passed in foreign policy as well as domestic policy, they were both the same. We were all, the country was headed, as George Bush Sr. said, that we're going to have a new world, one world government. And I saw that the Republicans as well as the Democrats were headed in that direction. It didn't matter what their lip service said. Didn't matter. So to me, I had no reason to vote because it didn't make any difference what. Neither one of them was going to stop the train. We're going to head into total slavery in the New World Order, and both the Democrats and the Republicans wanted it. But Mr. President Trump, when you came along, things changed. Things changed. You were different. You truly were not a politician. And you truly were a businessman just like myself. And I started to see that what you were saying could be done, and I did believe that you would do it. And I, for the first time, registered to vote. Now, I was born in Colombia, South America, where I am right now, and I have been here since 2009. Okay. My parents were the first in our total genealogy to move to the United States back in 1957, and I was at the age of 5. I grew up 100% in the American culture. Even though I was born here in Bogota, the capital of Colombia, I do not consider myself a Colombian American when I became a citizen naturalized in approximately 1970, 1971. I considered myself then and through my entire life an American. It is deeply offensive when I hear the word Hispanic Americans, Latino Americans, Black Americans, Jewish Americans, and shalom. My heritage goes back to Israel. My great great parents were Israelites. My heritage goes to Israel. That doesn't make me Jewish. There is a difference between an Israelite and a Jew. A Jew can be an Israelite But an Israelite does not have to be necessarily a Jew. I'm not going to go any further than that into it. I consider myself an Israelite in that respect because of my heritage. And I hope to visit before I take my last breath. I'm now getting ready to turn 72 here in January. Okay. I hope to visit Israel before I take my last breath. But anyway. So when you came on board, I decided to register to vote and to vote for you. You were totally different, non political, or in other words, you were apolitical. And I loved it. Finally, somebody who I believe is going to do what he says. And sure enough, you did a lot, big time, but you could have done more. And this is where your political inexperience, President Trump, hurt you big time. And that is because you weren't well connected with the Republican Party, even with the Democratic Party. In other words, the clique elitists in Washington, D.C., you were tricked into choosing people for your administration that fought you not only all the way, but behind your back. And one of those people was Nikki Haley. Just like Graham from South Carolina, the Senator Graham from South Carolina, Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, and many other rhinos, Mitt Romney, and many others fought you all the time during your first 4-year administration. Mother effers, you know what I mean? Mr. President, you chose Nikki Haley as ambassador at the UN. She did a good job. But she's 100% an elitist, globalist rhino. She stabbed you in the back many times over. Look it up. Google it. I don't use Google. I use another search engine. Google is just one of the CIS, one of the five eyes, so to speak, in my eyes. But anyway, okay. She fought you left and right, stabbed you in the back numerous times, just like Graham, just like McConnell, just like McCarthy, just like so many in Congress as well as in the Senate. Okay, in the House, I should say, as well as in the Senate. Okay. And you chose for your administration many people that were elitist, globalist, deep staters, such as Christopher Wray, who all he ever did was stab you in the back and continues to do so to this day. Everything from Mar-a-Lago, everything, oh, gee almighty, it doesn't stop. But I, as well as many of the MAGA movement and many of the We the People movement, in other words, true patriots, we saw it as your, how do you call it? It was your inexperience, it was your weakness, in that you didn't know. So you chose a lot of people like Barr, like Sessions, Miley, Pompey, and the guy before Pompey at the Department of State. I can't remember his name. I can see his face, but I don't remember his name, Mr. President. You chose these people in your administration, and all they did was backstab you. And backstab you. And pretty much we felt that that was your definite, not we felt, we knew that that was your inexperience and you weren't connected. And believe me, I never would have chosen Ray. I never would have chosen Barr. And I'm not even in D.C. But I knew that those sons of bitches were definitely going to screw you. And sure enough, they did. And so did many others. And many people that were patriots tried to warn you and advise you in relation to you picking these people, but you did so anyway. Inexperience. It's the way that I see it. But now we're coming up here to your second administration, which you have claimed you're going to really go after the swamp. And I believe you. And not only do I believe you, I expect you to do exactly that because I expect that you are a man of your word. Therefore, I expect nothing less. But I'm concerned because now, from my understanding, you have put Nikki Haley, a total globalist, elitist, war hawk, backstabber, corrupt as can be, that you put her on your short list as potential vice presidential. Unbelievable. Vivek was right about her in relation to that she was broke and basically had no money, so to speak, you know. And she went to work to Boeing. She was only at Boeing 5 weeks. I'm sorry, 5 months. Do you know that when she left Boeing she was on the board of directors? You know that when she left Boeing, she was able to purchase a $2.5 million house cash, is my understanding. Put it on the table, cash money. You do know that that money came from people that expect a return from that investment. No question about it. They expect a return. You put her as your VP, she's going to be backstabbing you left and right. She's going to already be trying to plot as to being the presidential candidate for 2028. She ain't getting my vote. 2028, 2032, 36, 40 if I'm still alive. That ain't going to happen. What is it that Biden says? She's a two-faced pony dog, whatever. Mr. President, you give me second doubts as to whether or not I should even vote in 2024 if it is true that you put her on a short list, and even more true that you select her because people are whispering in your ear. You know, the same people that you picked, so to speak, not in relation to ideology, that you picked in 2016 for your administration, those same type of people. Now, those are the same type of people right now that are coming to you saying, Pakali, she can help you in getting these people and those people that are kind of like, they're not MAGA people. And so they maybe want to know. Let me tell you something, Mr. President. You can win this election with just the MAGA people. To me, there's no question about that. You can win this election with just the MAGA people and we the people. You don't need whatever crap, okay, she can bring. If you put Haley on there, there's going to be a lot of us that'll basically, I myself will see it this way. The people you selected for your administration that ended up being deep staters, deep state, elitist, globalist philosophy, it's going to make me wonder if you really did appoint them because you didn't know who they really were with, but you really did know who they were, and you wanted the deep state people in your administration to advise you, etc. Because there's no excuse now for appointing any of those type of people. And the people that are coming to you and whispering sweet things about Nikki Haley and all those, every single one of those people, you should show them the door because they're deep state, globalist, elitists, war hawks, et cetera, et cetera. They are, and if they're in your administration, they will be backstabbing you left and right to undermine everything you want to do. And you will not be able to do it because you'll be fighting them all 4 years. Now, I'll be frank with you. I was seeing you as the president's got big balls and you can make things happen, and you did make a lot happen, but you could have done a lot more if you had selected your administration properly. Now, we the people, we the MAGA, are giving you and want you in there in the second administration, but you cannot have these types of people advising you. And again, I state, all those that have come to you saying, get Nikki Haley, get Nikki Haley, get Nikki Haley, every single one of those you don't want on your administration. End of story. So hey, that's all I'm going to say. I'm an American patriot. I'm not a Colombian American or none of that crap. I hate it when people, because I tell them I was born in Colombia and I'm an American, and they start to either call me a Latin American, a Latino American, a Hispanic American, or Colombian. I hate that. I'm an American. Don't put me in no freaking category. Just like I hate hearing the word, oh, he's a black American. Oh, jeez. Oh, he's a white American. No, you can't say that over there. Oh, he's a Chinese American. He's a Korean American. He's a Filipino American. No, that's bullshit. For all who listen to this, stop with that bullshit. We're Americans. End of story. We're one. We're all mixed in a kettle. And when we come out of the kettle, we're one, an American. That's it. That's it. We leave everything else behind. End of story. End of story. All right, Mr. President, I love you. President Trump, please do not make this grave mistake. It's so huge. It's unbelievable. How huge is it? It's so huge that it got me to make this video to go to you. I don't know what else to say. This is my Trump 2020 t-shirt. I've got about 10, 15 shirts having all to do with Trump, you, Mr. President, one way or another, in so many different ways for the 2016 and 2020 election. And go from there. But, gosh, I just can't believe that you would even consider for 1 second globalist, elitist, war hawk, backstabbing Nikki Haley as your vice president. It just blows me away. It's like, didn't you learn your lesson? You should have. Okay, Mr. President, I'll be working for you, etc. I hope you do not disappoint us, MAGA, and we the people. I hope not. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this.